Hello, 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 hello. Who's here? I'm going to try to adjust the light. Y'all don't go anywhere. Oh, that's much better. Much better. Okay, okay. Who's here? Who is here? Who is here? I got to let y'all know that I am super, super excited. Super excited. Super excited. Is anybody here? Let me see something in the chat. Okay. The lighting is horrible still. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see if we can do something else. This lighting is not good. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I'm excited. I'm going to get started with or without anybody as I got things to say. I am super excited for today. Hello, hello, hello. Let me see if I can turn this on. Maybe let's turn this off. Oh, that's 100% better. We're just going with this. 100% better. That's better. Okay. Let's do one more thing. Who's here? Who's on with me? All right. There we go. 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 All right now. I need somebody to be in the mix. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to try to share. She's probably working. Probably working. All right. We got to recap. Last week was phenomenal. We got stuff to do. I tell you, the video before, not last week's video, week before, I've been using those and we've been getting 300 to 600 views on them. Very, very good when I had the Falcon gear on. So we've done well. We have done well. Yes, yes, we have. Okay. So I guess the second person is going to be anonymous. Okay. Be anonymous. It's okay. I'm just glad to have you here. Am I clear, Jill? Am I clear, 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 clear? Okay, much better. Much better. All righty. I want to get started, but I know a few I was having a little technical difficulties this morning, and I think I got on here a couple of minutes. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Jill. Yes, 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 yes. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay. I am super, super excited. Hope you had a good week, Jill. Guess what? It's almost the new year. It is almost the new year. It's just it's just hard for me to believe I've been here 2 years. It's a new year coming. Yeah, mine was very good. I've just been overwhelmingly blessed. So many things, so many things. Yeah, but the more I ask other people to do, then I see I have to do a lot It might not be the same financial stuff, but I have to do some other things too. So, yes, yes, yes. Let's see if we can get some others on the line. I don't I don't do affirmations by moving forward. Hmm, kind of confused. Oh, she had a client. Okay, got it. Oh, you mean you don't do affirmations, meaning you don't make those resolution type things. You just move forward. I think that's what you're trying to tell me. Okay. Well, make sure that Val is watching these because I'm telling you, last week was a gem. The week before was a gem. Like these are getting better and better. I just get so excited because when I go in and I chop it up and start um perfect, perfect. When I start you know, sending them out. But yeah, when you go back and review, one hit like 611, the other one was like 482. The one from yesterday, I think was 482. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. And I released one about 3 o'clock this morning. So we'll see. I said it, not that I was up. I just said it for it to release. But yeah, it's doing excellent, excellent. So we're gonna go ahead and get started for those that are not on because I have determined that from the time I start really speaking that I'm only gonna do 30 minutes because we want to be good with people's time, and then after a couple of weeks I want to start doing 30 minutes of focused um, budgeting things, and then release the people if they want to go, and then if anyone wants me to do a one-on-one with budgeting with them one-on-one, that I will do that. Yes, yes, yes. So that's what we just give 15 minutes of some just plain questions and feedback and stuff like that. But I'm excited. Okay, so this is it, and I want to say welcome. This is budgeting 2024, and this is part 2. So let me recap last week. Yes, we want to encourage them. Yes. So last week, let's tell you what we did last week real quickly. Last week, we discussed, making a decision about being accountable to even write a budget. And so the people were tasked to come up with a decision to say, yes, I know that the budget is good for me and I need to make one. And then they were tasked to come up with a date, like when were they going to write their budget? Were they going to start last week or were they going to wait to January 1, whatever. But that was decision and date. All right. And then the next thing was to identify barriers, like what barriers prevented them from writing a budget or even discussing money or even understanding the concept of, where you are and how you got there. So we talked about identifying areas that they wanted to address in their budget. So just writing your budget is one thing. And when I say writing your budget, I'm really talking about writing down everything that goes out and everything that comes in. That is a task in itself. And it takes sometimes 2 to 3 weeks because people, they don't have everything that they need readily available. So they have to go look for things. That's fine. But the big thing about the budget is what, once you write everything down, what are you going to tackle and in what order? That's when it really becomes a budget. Before that, you're just writing facts. I owe Georgia Power this on the 15th, and it averages about $50, and it's an automatic pay. And I started it 15 years ago when I moved in this house because it's very important that you write when the date that the debt occurred, and it's important. I'll explain why. And then the next thing we talked about was walking in forgiveness of yourself for your past mistakes, forgiving yourself, forgiving your family, so you can be a little clearer. And then what decisions that you're making about your spending, like reanalyzing you as a person. Why do you spend? What is going on when you're spending? Is it something that triggered you? It's kind of like when we overeat. Some of us are stressed, so we don't eat, and some of us are stressed and we overeat. So, what are the triggers? What makes you spend, and why do you spend the way you spend? And that is a whole psychological thing that if people get to the root cause of it, it will help them to see and stop and talk to themselves and make another decision to do something different when we fall into diverse temptations, because temptation is coming. And also, to be honest and fair, some of us make poor decisions with finances because we just don't have enough. And because you don't have enough, you end up moving money around and thinking that you're making the right decision, but you just don't know how to do because you're coming up short. We gave that analogy of the person that has $2,000 worth of debt, but 1,500 coming in. When you have 1,500 coming in and you got 2,000 one out, now we have to make some critical decisions like, are we going to eat? Are we going to pay our lights, water, mortgage, or our house note, or, our rent? So those are real serious issues, all right? And then the thing that we said that we would do today is that we will focus on how to budget and how to save. But before we do that, you were tasked to list those things that you wanted to work on with your budget. Like if you were a savings person that you don't have any savings, or you said, oh, I really need to work on my credit cards. They're just so out of control. Or you might say, I have no money for savings, or I have just a little bit for savings and I need to build my emergency fund. So you were to identify those things in which you wanted to work on within your budget so you could have real action plans, all right? And we were going to talk about how to do it. So if everybody is caught up to where we're going, we're going to go to the next level. And I'm going to challenge you to do a few things. First, make sure you have your date, your decision of what date that you're going to start with your budget. And the fact that you should be happy that you're starting. Second, identify the barriers. What are the barriers that are keeping you from doing right with your money, barriers for not writing a budget? And some of us just say, I just don't know how to do it. And that's legitimate because I don't think we were ever taught how to write a budget. So we're going to do that here. And then also, what areas are you going to address on this budget? Like we just said, is it the order in which you're going to pay things, or the order in which you're going to start getting rid of some things? Because that person that was in that deficit of $500, they had to make a decision on what they were going to get rid of. Um, and then if you're in overflow, then you have to make a decision about where is that extra money going to go? Do you need to put it into your emergency fund? Is it fully funded? And when I say emergency fund, I'm talking about that first tier emergency fund, that $1,000. Second tier emergency fund is what I worked on this year, where you have 6 months, 3 to 6 months of household income, that all your bills for 6 months, if say you lose your job or someone became ill, or especially if you're couples and somebody gets sick, that part of their money would be gone if they don't have any type of disability insurance or whatever. So that is the second tier of a fully funded emergency fund. And that takes a minute. Okay, so let's just make sure that if you're not at the 1,000, that's the emergency fund we're talking about. If you're at the point where you're consumer debt free, and you have your emergency fund, and now you want to start your fully funded real emergency fund, contact me separately and we'll work with you differently, because that's a whole nother beast, and I'm super proud of you for that, because that takes a minute. Okay, so then go back and stop making excuses, stop blaming yourself, love on yourself. And I want you to take this moment now and take a deep breath. Be excited for where you are at this moment in your life. Forget the past, forget the mistakes, walk in love and walk in forgiveness because this is your new journey. This is a new era for you. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. Now let's look at where you are and where you desire to be. Don't be overwhelmed by it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be this way. And I believe help is on the way because you made a decision to fix your financial future. So let's jump into this and stay in that calm mode no matter what those bills look like, no matter what those numbers look like. We're here for you. We're encouraging you to love yourself and to embrace this money, embrace the situation, because it's all going to work itself out. I'm an example that you can fix it and you can maintain it for longevity. So I'm super excited for you all. Let's get into it. All right, now we're at the point of working on the budget. You have identified, and I'm going to use 3 things just because I need to be able to show you some clarity. 3 things: debt reduction, emergency fund, okay, that $1,000, and recognizing your spending habits. Those are the 3 things that I'm choosing to talk about today to help you see how you make a plan for something, okay? So to help me stay focused, we're going to do debt reduction, okay, and then emergency fund. And then what's the 3rd thing is how to work on your spending, okay? Okay, Jill, did I say that right? All right. First thing we're going to do is after you've done your budget, that means you've written down everything that comes in and everything that's gone out. You should be able to say the interest rate on it, the date that it is due, and the statement date. And there's a reason for that. And the date that you opened that card. You might have opened it 20 years ago, but you need to write that down. Who is it, the person you owe? So I can say American Express. I opened it in 2016. I think it's $40,000 limit. And what I owe now is probably about $200 because I pay for it every pay period. I just pay it off. And then if I pay it late, I think the interest is like 20-some%. I don't know because I never pay it late. But it's something crazy number. So you want to put that down. Now, say I had 3 American Express cards. Like some people have a gold, a platinum, and a blue. And I want to say I have a problem with credit cards. If that's what I identify, then I need to decide which of these 3 that I'm going to pay off first and what my strategy would be. So I'm just using me an example. Say I have one that has I owe $2,000 on, one I owe $500 on, and one I owe $100 on. Okay, so we got 2,000, 500, and 100. Okay, so I'm going to say, most of us would say, well, what is the interest rate? But because I'm trying to get a win, I just need one win. So maybe if I could just try to figure out how to pay that $1,000 off first. So this is the goal. What is the mission that's trying to be accomplished? I made a decision that I'm going to pay off the $100 of my American Express Blue card within the next 2 months. How am I going to do that? I'm going to take the extra money. I normally pay $10 a month. I'm going to take all extra money and put it towards that one bill. So within 2 months, I should have that paid off. That is my goal. So where is this extra money coming from? You look over into your budget and you say two things. Is it anything extra in this budget that I can finagle? Meaning, in the groceries, maybe I can do a little less on groceries. Maybe, like we talk about meatless Mondays, maybe that grocery bill is $100 a week. Maybe you could take $20 from that weekly. So 2 times 4, that's $80 right there. All right. And you need to only have 20 more dollars. I'm trying to make it very simple, but those numbers might be big for you, but you need to think simplistically. Now, guess where that other $20 can come from? You normally eat out at work about $10 a day. So now in 1 month, we're able to pay that. All right? Because we can just go 2 days that week and not eat out at work. That's $20. So now we found our $100. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that is what we do. Now, we can successfully say that in a month, we're paid off that $100. So that $10 that we normally use, we'll take that for the next bill, which is the $500. All right? And we normally pay $50 a month on that bill, that $500. So now we're paying $60 because we always use that money that we paid off the debt. We put it towards the next debt, and then we'll take that $10 now that $50. Now you have $60, and then you set a goal of when you're going to do that. Now, how do we set these goals? We identify the amount that we're trying to pay off, the timeline, give it a timeline. Let's be realistic. Now, if you have something 20,000, you can't say you're going to pay it off in a year. Like, that's unrealistic. All right. But let's do some realistic timelines. And we want it to be measurable, like that's realistic and measurable. All right. Measurable means that you're going to take $60 and then you're going to look over at your finances again, or as I told you, your garage, your house, your car. Is some places where you could trim the fat. Where can you get that money? Now, I contest that if you could take $20 a week off your groceries for the $100 bill, why can't you do it for the $500? Why don't we just say we're going to do $80 a week for groceries and make that a permanent thing and take that extra money and put it towards our bill? That would be the adult mature thing, right? Or we're going to go back to eating out at work, $10 a day, and say, I'm going to take my groceries and I'm going to bring that $10 back. So 10 times 5 for those that work 5 days a week, that's $50. Isn't that the amount that you pay on that $500 for that credit card? Number 2, you see how easy it is, but you just got to relax your mind and be willing to give up some things. So now we have more than enough money to pay that $500 bill off. And we might can do that in like 1 month and maybe 2 months max. So now you're rolling and it's starting to feel good. You paid off that $100 credit card. You paid off that $200 credit card, and you're just doing great. Now, that means that debt reduction, the first thing that we say we would do, we're doing that, okay? So you keep doing it. Snowball effect, go to the next one and the next one and the next one, okay? In the meantime, we're going to do an emergency fund, that $1,000. So now you only have $100 in your emergency fund and you want to get $1,000. Where can we put some extra money to get that $1,000? I think the $1,000 is way more important than debt reduction, because when you start, this is so important. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. This is very important. When you're on a debt reduction journey, once you get going, you want to keep going. And if you don't have enough money in emergency savings, as soon as something pops off and things will happen, you're going to have to go, all that money that you were putting towards your debt, now will have to go to get some tires, to get the roof fixed, to buy some shoes or cleats for your kids for their schooling, whatever. So let's do things in the order of operation. My math teacher, oh, I used to love her. Order of operations. You need to. Now, I cannot tell you what to do. My recommendation would be to take all the money that you were going to put towards that credit card and put that towards your emergency fund. And guess what? If you do that, you will have more peace when it comes to your debt reduction, because you're thinking something's going to pop off and I don't have the money, but now you at least have $1,000, and that should cover in it your insurance coverage. Say you got $200 for the roof that needs for your deductible. Maybe you have a $500 deductible for your car if something happens to it. So those things are there, and you got a peace of mind. Now that you have all the money that you figured out how to put towards that emergency savings, you could check that off and say, whew, I have my emergency savings and I've done what I was supposed to do. That's the best feeling in the world. Pat yourself on the back and go, woo, I did it. Now you go back to that $100 Blue American Express that you've written down, that you were paying $10 a month. Now you figured out how to put some extra money there, and you go back to that plan. You should always do emergency first. That's my recommendation, because you want to be good. While you're doing your emergency, you need to make sure you don't miss any payments for your other bills. You're not late, because those things affect your credit. And if you have an opportunity where you might call someone and say, this bill is $200 and I just don't have it now. Is it any way I can do $100 now? And this is household bills, not credit cards, because they're not even trying to hear that, more than likely. And then you work with them and maybe take that extra $100 and put that to the side, because you're getting a bonus coming up, or that you're getting some other income coming in. But whatever you do, make sure that when you make a commitment, you write those things down and you date it and you put it on your calendar. Everybody has a calendar on their phone, and they set reminders. I have reminders all through my phone, because I have those rentals and I have other things going on, and I want to make sure that I'm timely and I don't miss anything. Stop pretending that you got that mind that's from 20 years ago. Okay, we all confess that we have a good mind, but we need some backup plan. All right, let's just confess. So if you say you're going to give that extra $100 back in 2 weeks or whatever, when that money comes in, put that on your calendar. Always back it up 3 days, because the weekends come, holidays, and you don't want to be the last day and you forget, because you could be overwhelmed the day of. Things happen. So this is hint number 2. Always put everything in your calendar, but you want to back it up. So if something's due on the 30th, let's back it up 3 days and put the 27th, okay? And put that reminder, and make sure that reminder is the first thing that morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning. You don't want the reminder to be 2 or 3 o'clock. The whole day's gone by. You want banking hours to still be up where you can transfer money and it legitimately works, okay? I'm giving you gems. Pay attention. If you're on the East Coast versus the West Coast, I have to do everything as if I'm on Eastern Standard Time, but I'm on Pacific Standard Time, because at 9 o'clock my time here, we're going into a whole nother day. So if I'm putting it 9 o'clock, I'm not getting credit for that day. And sometimes after 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, sometimes it's 6 o'clock. So you need to know your banking windows when you get credit for things. I know it seems like a lot, but just put that in the back of your mind that, Oh, I need to look at my banking windows and see what time you make deposits and withdraw, how it's going to affect you. I love you enough. I give you these nuggets. Now, let's get back to those 3 credit cards. You had a $100 credit card, a $500 credit card, and a $2,000 credit card. And you've already figured out how you're going to do it. Well, it was easy to do that $100 one and that $200. We found that easily. But now you're starting to feel a little resistance because it's getting tight now, all right? You have your emergency savings, right? That's good. You have that $1,000, but it's getting tight because that $2,000 one is worth the one that you pay. You pay maybe $200 a month on that one. That's kind of tight. Now you've taken the $10 from one and the $50, so that's $60. And the bill is $200 that you normally pay. So now we're paying $260, but it's getting tight. Let's look at your bills again. What, and when I say your bills, because you've written everything down, what you have going out, what you have coming in, how are we going to get more than $260? Because we want to pay this off. Now we have to come up with a declaration. Everything you do, you have to be specific. I have a $2,000 bill that is a credit card, and it's your American Express number 3. Let's call that gold. That's your gold card. So we're paying the gold card off. You normally pay $200. Now I have to grab my pen that slipped down. You normally pay $200. Okay, your American Express Gold, $2,000 you owe. You normally pay $200 a month. You've already paid off the other 2 American Expresses, and you have $60 that you normally put towards those. So now you have $260 because remember, it's the snowball. You take that money and you put it towards the next. So now we're looking at $60 extra to go towards that $200, but it's $260. Now you're feeling a little overwhelmed because it's like, oh, I got a lot going on. Let's look at what you've written down as your debts. Now you've already said that you're going to take $20 a week off of your grocery bill. And then you've already said, so what does that give us? Let's do the math. We did $200 that we normally pay. We do $50 from the other credit card and $10. So now we have $260. We got $20 from the weekly reduction of food. So now that's $280. And then we have $50 because we were eating out $10 a day at work, 5 days a week. That's $50. So now we're at $330. All right, $330. Jill, go back and check my math. So $200, which you normally pay, $50 from the $500 credit card you have, and $10 from that $100 credit card that you had that you paid off. So let's celebrate. You've paid off 2 credit cards, and you have an emergency fund of $1,000. Boom, 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 boom. You should be excited. You should be doing a running man. You should be like, boom, 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 boom. I did it, I did it, I did it. I did it, I did it, I did it. And you should be charged with energy and exhortation and exuberation because guess what? You can pay your bills. You just needed some help. You just needed to get focused. You needed to just see what you needed to see on that paper. And you just needed to make a decision that you was not going to live to be the old person that always did not have money, that was living paycheck to paycheck. You made a decision that you're going to get rid of some of those extra groceries. You're going to get rid of just spending and eating out every day at work, and you're going to take your food. This is what we call success. Yes, you did it. It's the little things. It's the little things. Now let's get back into it. Now you have $330, okay? $330. Make a decision. It's $2,000 that you have, okay? $2,000. $330. If you can do $330 for 6 months, 18, that's $2,080. All right, 6 months. That's still realistic. You know why? because it only took you 3 months to pay off the $100 and the 500, which was 600. So I believe you could do it. We're going to be specific. I'm going to take my $2,000 American Express Gold and pay $330 a month for 6 months. Now the $80 will be really, because you still have interest. So this is more realistic because interest still accruing. Now, what we're doing is, in reality, 6 months seems like right, but because of the interest, let's be honest, because of the interest, it might be 7 months. But guess what? We're looking at that Hulu and that Netflix, and we're like, we're gonna stick with our Fire Stick that we're already paying $139 a year, which averages about $13 a month. Let's deal with that because you're going to keep that anyway. Hulu, Netflix, let's say that's about $15, let's just say $20. So now we have $350. We got rid of those two things. We got rid of Netflix and Hulu. That was a big girl move, big guy move. So now we have $350. So let's go back, because your action statements, your declarations, that's what we're working on. You said you have $2,000 on your American Express Gold. Now you're going to pay $350 a month for 6 months. I think you should be good. Now, I'm not getting into the interest rate because it varies, but I want you to understand these concepts. So that's $2,100 that you should be able to pay this off, all right, in 6 months. Now, people give you money, you find some cushion money, you want to sell some stuff out of your garage, you want to get rid of some of those clothes and declutter, you want to barter, you're good at maybe babysitting, all right, you have a daycare, bring a couple of more of them crumb snatchers on over there, all right, and instead of you want to add, so that gives you some more money, or you could also barter out your services and say to someone, I normally pay my guy such and such to cut my grass. Do you have someone that can do that? And I'll babysit your kids. Maybe they have a son. They send the son over there to do it. That's what I'm saying. Use whatever you have legally, ethically, and morally to get some more money. Okay? So think about it. Now we have $2,100, and in 6 months, I want you to see, this is how y'all don't know how to celebrate. And I'm talking to myself too. So you should be celebrating 4 things. Emergency fund, $1,000, check. $500 credit card, American Express, check. $1,000 American Express, check. And now in 6 months, you will be able to check off the $2,000 American Express, check. That means you would have had 4 goals that you've met. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. That is boss. And that is not even a whole calendar year. So even if we add 2 to 3 months for their first and 6 months, we're still 9 months in the year. I'm telling you, should be can't touch this. Da-na-na-na. Da-na. Done. Can't touch this. Dun. You are so excited now. You're willing to look at that budget and be like, shoot, let me look in this house. I got to see what else I can sell. This place is cluttered, whatever you want to call it. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. I need some money because my next bill is coming up and I want to be able to pay this off. You're so excited. Every extra penny that you get, you're putting on that $2,000 because you're saying, I'm not waiting 6 months. I want some gratification now. So in less than 9 months, you would have paid off 3 bills and you would have had a emergency fund of $1,000. That is boss. Didn't I tell you I'm going to love on y'all? But you got to set realistic expectations and you have to do some unrealistic stuff, meaning you can't just keep eating out, spending money, and adding to your credit card. Now, all while this is going on, you have to continue to pay your other credit cards on time, no missed payments, your light bill, your gas bill, all your bills still have to be paid on time. Now, you can't add to this debt. Now we're getting into the second thing. All right. We talked about debt reduction. Jill, you're going to be proud of me. I'm staying on task. Debt reduction, we did that. We paid off 3 credit cards. We did an emergency fund. And then we said how to work on my spending. We just did that and y'all don't even know I got you. Every time I had you to go back to that budget, you're looking at your spending. You got rid of Netflix and Hulu. You stopped eating out daily for $10. You're taking your lunch. And guess what? You're thinking about how you can find more money to put towards these debts. You're looking in your garage. You're trying to barter with people to make things done so you don't have to. You're calling your creditors, seeing what things that you can, hold off or pay half, long as it don't show up as a late payment. Okay, that's very important. But you're figuring out ways that you can work this out. Now let's get a little deep into spending. We're gonna spend 3 more minutes, and I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm gonna be the woman of my word. I'm so excited. We done paid 3 bills off. I'm telling you, in less than a year because we're focused, we're determined. And then you call your folks and say, nope, I'm not hosting whatever that thing was at your house, because then you feel led to overspend. And they're supposed to be bringing 15,000 things and you end up taking the bulk of it because you're trying to show that this your house. No, you canceling that. I don't care if they mad, because that extra $200-$300 for that party or whatever it was needs to go on our $2,000 on our card. They can get mad, get glad, laugh, cry, whatever. We're done. We're done. Done. So we're focusing on what we need to be focusing on. So now let's talk about spending impulsively. Because if that is already your issue, you're going to go through highs and lows. You're going to be excited that you paid off those 3 credit cards. But then that person that has issues with spending, we're going to be like, oh, I really want this dress, or I really need these shoes, or I'm going to this party. Let's go in your closet and see, and go ahead and find outfits that may work before you go spending money, because you got some stuff in that closet. So the old is really the new. We just switch it up. So maybe you take a shirt and put it with another suit and make that suit look different. Or take the jewelry that you normally wear and switch it out and do something different. Okay? It'll make you feel like you have something new, but you just repurpose it and you make it different because now you have a different flair on it. Or maybe you do your hair differently. Not going to the salon and doing it differently, but just styling it differently. You have to be creative to give you some newness. Let me tell you, we didn't have a lot, but every spring and summer, my mother changed out. We had summer comforters and winter comforters. And she would change pillows out and do things because she wanted something fresh. She would even change out the curtains, okay? Those things that she would do, but she had it on layaway. Oh, I wish I could think of the name of that place. It was like $300 comforter she would get for like maybe $100, but it was on layaway, and it was be the comforter, the dust ruffle, back then dust ruffle, and then the pillow set and the shams, all of that. And then she would get it, and it made our house look like it was new. And she would wash the windows down and open up the curtains in the summertime, and it just made things look different. Sometimes she would just change the comforters and put them in different rooms. I'm telling you, sometimes just buying new pillows will make the room different. Even on your couch, if you buy another set of pillows, on sale, or if you go to the thrift store, sometimes they have brand new stuff. I've got brand new stuff. Because rich people, they just feel bad and they want to get rid of something so they can buy something else. And but what I'm saying is, you want the look to be different. You just gotta think differently to make it new. Also, your girlfriends and y'all are about the same size. They might, we call it gently worn. You might start switching some things out. A lot of you are like, oh, that sounds crazy. But through almost 3 years, April will be 3 years of my 124K in 16 months. And I'm still living large, doing what I want to do. But money don't phase me like that anymore. It's stuff. It's just stuff. It don't matter. When you become consumer debt free, you have a whole different look, because now all I do is travel and save my money in investments. That's all I do. And I'm very, very happy because that's what I want to do. And I want you to get to that point, because what I'm saying is, your spending, that is deep. You've got to figure out what is going on with you. What are your trigger points and how you're going to make it done? But today we paid off three bills: a $100 bill, a debt, a $500 debt, and a $2,000 debt, as well as have emergency fund. And we did that all within 9 months to a year, less than 9 months, less than a year, and about 9 months. So that's phenomenal. But that is the person that is focused and that is willing to sacrifice and to keep going back to your budget, going back to that budget of what you have down and what you're willing to come away with. Every year they go up. They try to go up on your cable, your insurance, your property taxes, your rent, everything, something goes up. So the more you can get off your plate, yeah, that $60 that we surplus, it might end up going to your car insurance, but at least you actually know where it's coming from and have it to give. And maybe we can't pay the 350 a month, but sometimes, it might just be 300, but the goal is you're focused, and that is what it's about. Now we're going to wrap up and say this. You made that decision that you're going to do a budget. You made a date in which you're going to start. You identified your barriers and you decided what areas of your budget you focus on. And this week we chose debt reduction, emergency fund, and how we're going to work on your spending. Everybody needs to have a spending allowance. That's number one. It's going to be $25, 45, whatever you claim. But the more money you give yourself, that's the less money that you have going your debt reduction. You can't start celebrating, boo. No, no, no. Now, a celebration of paying off 3 credit cards, you should do something like maybe take yourself out to eat, or buy you a little something that's within reasons. No, you can't go buy a $2,000 purse. That's defeating the purpose. But I mean, you have to celebrate. And I had to learn this because I was just paying bills off, just going to the next thing. And my girlfriend Kenya, she said, do you realize you paid off a whole car? Like, it was almost like a little kid was like shaking me. It was so fun. She says, no, we're going to celebrate. And we all went to Papa Do's in Atlanta. And remember, I told you I had my 2 drinking drinks, like grown folks drink. I spent $60 whole, and I was on a $25 a week budget. I felt so empowered. It was my friend Erica was there, Sonia and Kenya, and we just had a good time. And they made me feel like, Adrian, this is your 8th month, and you've paid off 50-something thousand dollars in 8 months. And that was before I even understood to put my mortgage in there, because I was just still doing consumer debt stuff. I was just like floored, and it was great. It was great. It was just great. So that's what you do. You get excited. You do a little celebration, and you keep everybody in your family in line. This is what we're doing. We're all reducing, and we're all looking at ways to, just for a small season. Because about 2 years of this, you'll be like, oh my God, this is great. I love this. And you look at your house and it's decluttered. Everybody's happy because you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. Things are good. So this is where we are. So next week, we're going to focus on really the budget and savings. But I just wanted to give you just a glimpse of what happens when the budget is together. No, we're going to really write a budget, like from beginning to end, so you can see what it looks like. I'm excited. So next week we're writing a budget and we're going to talk about our savings. But I think this has been a great week. We paid 3 credit cards off. We have emergency savings, and we learn how to look at what we have and say what we'll be willing to sacrifice to meet our financial goals. Debt free is the goal. Consumer debt free, debt reduction, having money in our emergency savings, and being able to say that we're not stressed daily worrying about finances. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful new year. And the next time I'll see you will be 2024. Yes. Happy New Year. Be safe out there. Enjoy your new year and stay focused. Stay focused. You guys have a great, great day. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jill. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for all you guys. I see y'all were popping in and popping out, but I did stick to my 30 to 45 minutes. Wonderful. Have a great day.